And there I was. I was the girl from Suits.
This one's wife. Who does she represent? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This question of representation provides me with a further opportunity to demonstrate how this one's wife's narcissism works. Just recently, some poor children were subjected to this one's wife turning up at the hospital where they were recuperating, being treated, and were subjected to having to listen to her read from some books. This one's wife has turned up talking at the South by Southwestern meeting. She held some kind of mini-summit in New York to talk about what a wonderful experience it was being a mother to the parents of children who'd killed themselves as a consequence of online abuse, demonstrating her usual absence of emotional empathy and how her cognitive empathy misfires. She has repeatedly attended events, but it leaves one wondering in what capacity. If we pause talking about this one's wife for a moment and look at, for instance, Prince William, he has a wide range of patronages. For instance, he's a patron of the British Trust for Ornithology, so he may well turn up at an event which promotes bird conservation as a consequence of looking at national bird life in the United Kingdom. He's involved as a patron of Centrepoint, which is a national charity providing accommodation and support for socially excluded homeless young people. So one might expect that he could perhaps be helping out with regard to what they do. For instance, it might be helping in one of their kitchens, perhaps going around and meeting people and understanding their needs and bringing attention to what they require. He's a patron of Child Bereavement UK. He's the royal chieftain of the Crieff Highland Gathering, where there are some games which are held. And Crieff is a lovely little town up in Scotland. I've stayed nearby there and at Crieff Hydro on many occasions, but I digress. He's involved with the English School Swim Association, so that's encouraging school children to learn to swim and to compete, so he may be turning up to hand out the medals. He's an honorary member of Gloucestershire County Cricket Club, so he might go along, for instance, at their prize giving or to go and watch a game, and on go the various patronages that he has, but they all establish a relevance that he has in relation to them. What about the Princess of Wales? Well, she's involved with Action for Children, which runs over 400 projects for some of the UK's most vulnerable and excluded children and young people. She is the patron of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, so she'd be there perhaps handing out prizes at the appropriate time. She's involved with Evelina London Children's Hospital, which cares for children and young people across South London and South East England. So she may well make visits there to see those children who are patients. She is a patron of HMS Glasgow, so she might go and meet the crew. She's the colonel of the Irish Guards. You recall recently she wasn't able to attend, and she put some money behind the bar. So she and Prince William and other royals all have this relevance by virtue of the various patronages that they hold. But this one's wife doesn't hold any. Now, there's nothing, of course, to stop her wanting to be involved in charitable activities in the same way as anybody else on the planet might, by way of volunteering. But the point is that she doesn't turn up as a volunteer. You don't see her out on the frozen streets doling out sandwiches and hot soup to people who are lacking shelter. You don't find her going out to other countries, providing aid relief, getting amongst all of the work that has to be done, building shelters, perhaps assisting with vaccination programs, digging channels and pipelines so that fresh water is provided, and so forth. She doesn't roll up those proverbial sleeves and get stuck in. What she does is she swans around. On what basis, though? On what basis does she swan about? That she was once an actress? Well, most people don't know her for being an actress, and were it not for the fact that she married a ginger prince, they wouldn't have any idea at all who she was. And if we removed the fact that she married a ginger prince and she turned up at these various places, people would be thinking, sorry, who are you again? What are you doing here? What's your relevance to this organisation? You're not a patron of it. You're not involved with it. Why have you come here? Instead, what she does is she swans about on the strength of being the Duchess of Sussex, even though she doesn't want to have anything to do with the royal family and she claimed that she wasn't interested in titles. The fact is, she has no legitimacy. She has no foundation for the things that she does, because her title is an ill-gotten one. She only gained it through marriage, never really did anything in association with it, but has traded off it ever since. Her charitable activities, she might argue, I'm here as a representative of Archwell. But then, why would anybody be interested in a representative of Archwell? They wouldn't be. She attempts to cultivate the interest off the back of being the Duchess of Sussex, but she's doing so in a country that doesn't have a royal family, has never had a royal family indeed. Sought to kick out the king back in the 18th century. Scandalous colonists. But the fact remains, this shows the mess that she is, that she has no legitimacy for this faux royal visits that she creates. But she utilises a royal title that she claims she doesn't want, but clings on to desperately, in relation to a family that she has very little at all to do with, that she's roundly criticised and smeared, and continues to expect a country that was founded on the principles of being essentially against a monarchy to accept her on the basis of a title associated with a monarchy. That not only demonstrates how entitled she is, but also how stupid she is. She expects the good people of the United States to be wowed and amazed by a visit from a duchess, even though it's a country that has no truck with such titles. Many people have asked, who's she representing when she's doing these things? On whose behalf is she turning up and smiling and offering the richest grin? And of course, as you know, it's all about the prime aims. Well, the simple answer is she isn't representing anything. She's just representing herself. All of this, although she may say that she's doing it on the basis of Archwell, the fact is that she's just doing it for herself, that she expects that she should be able to turn up and appear to do good just because of who she is. But actually in the United States, she's a nobody, because her title shouldn't mean anything there. And what has she actually achieved in her life? Nothing particularly meaningful. She hasn't shown service of any depth or sustained period. And therefore, in the circumstances, it is laughable that she behaves this way, but entirely understandable that she behaves this way as a consequence of the blinding of her narcissism. She has no legitimacy to turn up to these places, swanning around, nose in the air, believing that she's more important than those around her, and thinking everybody's thrilled to see her. But why? She is a completely unremarkable human being, who's never achieved anything meaningful, has nothing interesting to say, has no insight that is worth hearing about, and yet she expects people to welcome her into these organisations and charities and hospitals just because of the fact that she once married a ginger prince. It demonstrates what a ridiculous individual she is, but also demonstrates how her narcissism propels her to behave in this manner. What do you think in terms of her supposed legitimacy? Do you agree with my observations? Let me know in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.